situation because of what apparently is a lack of communication between the Negro civil rights leaders and themselves. The black power specter has bothered them, and it's serious enough to cause some men to make a statement like this in the newspaper. And
Let me ask it, because you're both crossing paths these days, your evaluation of Martin Luther King, and is the elevation of you to your position in SNCC and McKissick and Core and others an indication that the civil rights movement generally is going to become more militant, engage in some excesses, if I may use that word?
I think Dr. Martin Luther King is a militant man.
Is he too moderate for you, or too militant, or just right?
I think he's a militant civil rights leader.
Would you say he is the leader, regardless of how many various groups there are around the
I certainly
country?
think that he does pose and does represent a central theme.
well, that's the first thing you've said, Mr. Carmichael, about your group, which I completely disagree with you. I think the masses of black people are beginning to back away from Dr. King. As shown by the rally here in Soldiers Field, he wanted 100,000, he got 35,000. I think you're going to pick him up because you're preaching Malcolm X's line, which is black nationalism, and the people will buy it, just as the white people are buying white nationalism.
What does black nationalism mean to you?
What does what?
What does black nationalism mean to you?
It means the Negro going for self, as the Muslims say, and I think that this is what every man should do, not just the Negro, but every man should go for his own group and stick up for it.
Does that mean anti the other group?
If the other group is against it, now you say my group is exploiting, oppressing, and pushing, and they don't give you any power and so forth. If I were you, as I've said many times, had I been born a Negro, I would have been Malcolm X, or done my best to do so. Dr. King said, didn't he, that the use of the term black power causes apprehension among in the community?
Yes, he said that.
But he accepted, I would have to say for the record, sitting just in the seat that you are in, he said it was an unfortunate term, but my recollection is, Bob, that he said that after the explanations that were attached to it by others, he would not disagree.
But he said it was an unwise choice of a slogan.
Exactly.
But I think we're building up to an inevitable confrontation between black power and white power. No matter what euphemisms you use, here is a man who was already hollering black power, as I predicted years ago. Now I predict that this man will be driven, whether he likes it or not, and I think he does like it. He will be driven to the point where his own people will push him, eventually to the point where he will have to become much more militant and come out openly with what he means by black power, which is with guns.
I've come out openly and defined black power.
So far, every year the Negroes get more militant. Everybody recognizes this, as I've been preaching, and there's no end to it.
Understandable?
It's understandable. It's understandable only.
What if the situation were reversed? What if your skin were black?
I told you I would have been Malcolm X. I wouldn't appreciate what the Negroes have to go through at all. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to let the Negroes take away what we got. I'm not about to give this country back to the Indians or the Negroes or anybody else.
What are you proposing? To round up all Negroes in the United States and ship them back to Africa?
I propose the same as Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X used to preach anyway, and that is the repatriation. Our first 5 presidents all preached that. I think if we offer real help to the Negroes to do just what our pilgrims did, they don't like it here, they won't fit here, our people will never accept them. I don't see why we can't help them to get their own place. And as I've told you, I'd even be willing to give them Miami Beach and Brooklyn, if necessary. I'd be willing to go a long way. But I think you're going to have to separate. That's the only answer. Segregation doesn't work, integration doesn't work, and black power won't work. The only thing that's going to work is separation or extermination, one or the other.
Extermination? Extermination?
Somebody can exterminate somebody else because they're going to attack. The black people are going to attack the white people. They're doing it now, and you can use all the euphemisms you want. They are doing it now, and they will continue to get more and more militant until finally you recognize the need for guys like me who will stand up to it and fight it, not talk about it.
Preserve us from that day.
But you have to, not as an organization, the amount of people that took part in Chicago was about 1% of the Negro population in Chicago.
But I think the masses of Negroes are behind it.
On the west side.
The masses of Negroes were happy to run in the stores and loot when they got the chance, nevertheless.
Well, I would have to say that the evidence would not preach that the totality of which you speak was
what
true.
you two gentlemen have got to recognize is that the main thing that stands between the Negro and black power is the police departments. And that is what the Negroes are attacking, the police departments, specifically so they can get to you.
How are they attacking the police department?
Shooting them. Every time, well, look at how all these riots start when a policeman tries to do his duty. And policemen, I can tell you right now, I don't know how you have any policemen left. Whenever a policeman tries to do his duty, he's threatened with losing his job and even sometimes going to jail. Here in Chicago, you had two policemen stopped a Negro with a broken bottle attacking people, and a Negro judge turned him loose and condemned the policeman. That's
That
what you
wasn't, the case didn't involve a Negro with a broken bottle incident.
Two Negroes with broken bottles.
It did not involve Negroes with broken bottles.
Stokely, why would you say Chicago was picked as a scene of considerable action by, say, Martin Luther King and others? Any particular reason why Chicago was picked?
Yes, it represents certainly a ghetto area where black people are forced to subdue themselves to the conditions that they have to across the country.
But you'd say it's no different than most of the major cities in the country.
No, I would say it's not.
I'd like to, as we conclude this section of At Random, I would like to thank our guests that are with us at this time, Stokely Carmichael, Chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. And I want to thank you very much for coming on the program. George Lincoln Rockwell, Commander of the American Nazi Party, for being with us in the conversation today. Bob Schultz, First Assistant City Editor of the Chicago Daily News.